in making these videos, I have went back and watched them, and I kind of wish that I didn't sound so mean and aggressive, because I know I'm talking about other believers, and mainly I'm talking about the Rapture Watcher guys, the channel, Steve Fletcher, Repo Man 64, God a Minute, Burial. Even though Burial really gets on my nerves because he puts a day and hour on the Rapture, or he used to all the time. All the guys, Supernatural by Design, We Are the Overcomers. I feel kind of bad because the way I talk sometimes when I talk about them, but what I'm saying is true. That's what I want to make the point to. So what I'm saying about them is true. Regardless if I say it in a loving way, which it might not sound so loving, regardless, the information is true. See, that's what we have to realize, is that when we're seeking, the main thing that we need to understand is the information true that this person is telling me? And the trick to it is relaying that information in a graceful way. And I could probably use some work on that. I have come a long ways, though. I used to cuss in my videos. I used to get upset. I used to do all kinds of things, challenge people all the time. But I learned not to do that anymore. So I've come a long ways. But the thing that gets me so upset about these guys is that I already know and can see that their mind is still in partially worldly thinking. Because they haven't come to the full knowledge of the truth. And mainly talking about biblical creation, right? That's the big one for me. As you can see in my icon, it says research flat earth. Because it is the biggest psychological operation, deception that has been pulled off on humanity, which is to tell people false cosmology. And the thing that gets me is that these guys have been in it for a lot longer than I have. I'm sure they've had their nose in the Bible for a lot longer than me. And I'll bet you $1 million they've probably done more research than me. Depending on what you call research. Depending on that. And they still haven't come to the knowledge of this truth? No. See, something's wrong there. Something's wrong there. And it does become a problem when I see, like I said, Steve Fletcher, posting false things about the sun and solar flares and lava on the sun and just a ball of lava and it's 93 million miles away, all these things. Then it becomes a problem even more, because now he's pushing complete lies that they're telling us. Now, he might not know it. Of course he doesn't know it, but he needs to come to the knowledge of the truth. The sun is not a ball of lava. The sun is a light. That's it. Look up. It's like a flashlight. It's right above us. It behooves me to think of how these guys are not using just their common sense. When how quick I caught on to flat earth, it was like within minutes. I was like, yeah. And I just went from there and studied all of the things, all the scientific proof about how what they tell us is complete nonsense and that the opposite is true. Then I started learning what the Bible said about it and all of the verses and the context of the verses, how they can only mean one thing, certain things. And it's like, where's the waters that are above the firmament? What the hell is the firmament? What does the word firmament mean? Well, it means a solid thing. And then you see all the predictive programming in the cartoons, in The Simpsons. You see the predictive programming when presidents talk about these things, all the declassifications of all these classified projects that they've had, Operation Fishbowl, Operation Dominic, Operation Deep Freeze, talking about the ice wall that circles the flat earth. All these things, and then you're like, why aren't these guys talking about this? And in our line of work, I'll just call it that, our line of work, at least I know, and most of you guys know out there, that there are wolves in sheep's clothing. That there are people sent out purposely inside the truth movement, especially in Christianity truth movement, to deceive. Purposely. So I don't know who those people are. See, so when I see these guys avoiding the topic, rejecting the topic, not knowing about the topic, supposedly, then automatically in my mind, one of the things that goes off is these guys are purposely deceiving people. You see, because that's the way I've been trained to think. I'm not trained to give people the benefit of the doubt. Oh, well, it's hard for me. Even though I do believe that a lot of them are probably deceived, how many of those guys are not really who you think they are? How many? But let me tell you guys something, man. I don't know how anybody could come to the conclusion that, well, it don't matter if the earth is flat. It don't matter if the earth is not moving. It don't matter if there's a dome above us called the firmament and there's waters above that. It don't matter if the heavens are right above that and God's throne is right above that. These things don't matter. This is the most incredible, amazing, massive truth that goes against everything that we've been taught in this world. And you're telling me that it's no big deal. I just cannot understand how a person can say that unless they are so blind by the God of this world, or they're a plant, they're an agent, they're not who they say they are. And they're purposely keeping a hush-hush on it because they don't want the people to understand that. I never could understand why people would say that. How can people say, well, what does it matter? What does it matter? Do you know how big of a game changer that is? If that's where we really are, which I already know that it is. That's why they make movies like The Truman Show, because it's called predictive programming. They show you the truth in plain sight in movies. But that's how the devil does it. They show you it, but they call it science fiction, right? They call it fiction, right? But they show you. And the masses, just like I was, we all were at that time, loved to watch the movies and just be entertained. But the day that you wake up and you realize these movies are not here to entertain me, they're here to teach me something, then it's a game changer. And so that's why I kind of get upset sometimes when I talk about these rapture watcher guys not preaching biblical cosmology truth, is because the first thing that comes to my mind is, you guys are serpents on purpose doing this. But I don't think all of them are. But they get treated the same way as a serpent to me, just by default, right? Because you're on the side of the serpent. Jesus said you can't serve two masters. And the people who are deceived, they are serving another master not knowingly. But it's still happening. So, again, the God of this world is Satan. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. The God of this world is Satan. Really think about that. Take a minute, step back, and believe that wholeheartedly. That the God of this world is the devil. Think about that. And then it says that he's the prince of the power of the air. Well, what comes through the air? Well, sound. That's why you have ears. Well, how do you learn things? Sound. You hear, you listen to what people say. Well, if he's a God of this world, where are the limitations on where he's at and what he's teaching? There are none. School, politics, entertainment, religion. Read the Bible. It warns us about science, falsely so-called. Where do they teach science? In school. In Christian school. Ah, but you put the name Christian school. Yeah, like that means anything these days. Doesn't mean anything. Look at the madness of what Christianity is. That's why a lot of us, well, me, I don't go to church as people know it, church. You know, the true meaning for church is ecclesia, which is a called out people. It's not a building. But I don't even hang around with other Christians because they're, see, I hate to say it. Are they even Christians? Are they even Christians? Sure, why not? Doesn't matter though. We're not even in the same realities. And I'm not better than them for knowing. I just am not like them. That's all. I'd rather be alone in a cardboard box, know the truth, meditate on the truth, still learning the truth, than be them. Have all the friends and all the nice gatherings. Forget that. I did that as a kid, as a young guy. I used to love the gatherings. I was a punk rocker. And my whole life was gatherings. Fun. It's okay if we disagree and, you know, just have fun and enjoy each other. I'm past all that. God killed that in me like 8 years ago. I care less. I passed up girls. They're pretty girls that I know that I had a shot with. I passed up lots of opportunities to do things, to be certain ways, just to be where I'm at right now. Where am I at? Well, I'm nothing. According to this world, most girls wouldn't even be interested in what I have to offer. Because I don't have anything to offer them as far as the majority of them. And people, I don't really have that much to offer people because most people don't want what I have to offer. Just like most people didn't want what Jesus had to offer. The truth. The truth. That's it. Satan is the god of this world. And those of us who are waking up and are awake and know the truth can see that perfectly.